The wreckage of the willed state of exception. The grand political dilemma remains. Dear leaders' attempt to impose a willed state of exception demands a political crisis rooted in a palpable, physical threat. But the modern subject, thanks to the relentless effort of the Chicago school ordoliberals, perceives only economic anxiety and aestheticized cultural conflict. We are prepared for the perpetual, structural violence of the market, for the rule of thanatopolitics, the rule of dead labor over the living. We are not prepared to recognize dear leaders' theatrical flailing as an authentic crisis worthy of risking our qualified lives. He attempts to frame the Mesoamerican migration as the great telluric threat, the malignancy of the unruly multitude, threatening his territorial attachments. Yet, even this most potent racialized partisan discourse fails to produce the desired unitary fascist subject. The populace is too fragmented, their outrage too readily diverted into the sanctioned pleasure of performing online identity politics, thus rendering themselves easier targets and enabling surveillance. The ultimate, sarcastic truth is that the masses have achieved a perverse victory through political exhaustion. They have internalized the norms of neoliberal discipline, prioritizing individualized acts of self-care over revolutionary risk. The Great Refusal is no longer a conscious withdrawal from the market based on communitarian values. It is a passive withdrawal into the digital, where political struggle is replaced by the performance of anti-establishment sentiment, serving only to lock the subject further into the system of ideological capture. Dear leader, in his frantic, frequent invocation of emergency powers in his first 100 days, simply exposed the empty space at the heart of modern sovereignty. The arcanum imperii he sought to seize, the absolute power to command by fiat, is revealed to be merely a fiction. The machine is stuck, perpetually generating crisis declarations that collapse instantly under the weight of administrative scrutiny and the crushing banality of the self-regulating, consuming populace. He wants desperately to move us from the permanent state of economic exception, the predictable, generalized condition of the homo sacer, into the sharp, decisive moment of political terror, the point where the distinction between friend and enemy is clearly and violently affirmed. But we are already too deeply inured in the terror of the market, the slow legal murder by exclusion. We have been rendered so perfectly docile, so beautifully manageable, that his fascist dreams of supreme emergency dissolve not in a revolutionary flood, but in a pathetic whimper of legal footnotes and unchecked consumer credit. We have failed to provide the catastrophe. We have failed to provide the Entscheidung. We have, in our comfortable, predictable enslavement, denied dear leader the only justification for his power, the ability to decide on a crisis we were incapable of constituting. What a disappointment for a sovereign who seeks the political sublime, only to find the multitude contentedly scrolling through their feeds, utterly incapable of true, unmediated outrage. The ghost of decisionism weeps. The fascistic superego starves. Let the farce continue, ad infinitum. 1546 words. By Tezozomak, copyright 2025-0925.